Year 2020 added many new words in our life like COVID-19, lockdown, coronavirus, quarantine, PPE, and N95 mask. You probably do not hear about N95 mask unless you are working as a forest firefighter or living in a most polluted city. When I first heard about N95 mask, I thought it worked like a normal masks and it would be a really fine strainer. A mesh of a fiber with gaps too small to stop dust and other airborne particles. But pathogens can vary widely in size, with bacteria generally ranging from 20 micrometer to 1 micrometer and viruses which can range from 750 nanometer to 17 nanometer. For example, the rhinovirus that causes cold is around 30 nanometer, while HIV SARS-CoV-2 is around 120 nanometer. Physically creating a sieve that can prevent a 30 nanometer particle from passing through would be absurdly impractical, as the opening will be so small that it can make breathing very hard and it will not be suited for mass production. So how N95 mask can filter such a small particle up to great extent and maintain enough air to get through to breathe properly? N95 mask is actually a really good at filtering both the smallest and the largest particles. It's the medium-sized particle that are hardest for it to block. This is not like a strainer at all, because N95 masks are much cleverer than a strainer. It is more likely as a spider web. So if the particle touches the fiber of N95 mask, it is going to stuck over there, irrespective of the size of particle. There are many layers of fibers to ensure the blockage of a particle. More layers of sticky fibers means more chances for the particles to get stuck. And how often the particle is going to hit or miss the fiber depend upon the size of a particle. We have divided the particles in 3 categories at microscopic level on the basis of their size. First is large-sized particle, second is medium-sized particle, and third is small-sized particle. Airborne particle of around 1 micrometer basically travel in a straight line because of their inertia, and because there are many layers of fiber, they guaranteed to hit a fiber and stick. Airborne particles that are really small, around 0.1 micrometer, are so light that collision with the air molecule bounce them around. So they move in a random zigzag pattern known as Brownian motion. This zigzag motion also ensures that the particle will strike with the fiber and stick. Particles of in between these sizes are hardest to filter because they do not move in a straight line and do not move randomly in a zigzag pattern. Instead, they move along with the air and they are more likely to pass through the fibers even from many layers. To stop those particles, N95 mask uses a clever move. N95 mask's fiber attract almost each size of particle using electric field. In the presence of electric field, even neutral particles develop an internal electrical imbalance, which attract them toward the source of electric field. That's why neutrally styrofoam stick to the cat whose fur has been charged with a static electricity. But N95 masks do not use ordinary static electricity. The fibers are like permanent magnets. Just like you can permanently magnetize a piece of iron by putting it in a strong magnetic field, similarly you can electritize the piece of plastic to give a permanent electric field. By electratizing a fiber in N95 mask, they gain a long-lasting ability to attract 10 times more particles than the normal fiber. So, with so many features, you really get a mask, not a strainer, which can filter more and more particles of different sizes. N95 mask can block around 100% small size particle, 100% large size particle, and reasonably good job at filtering out middle sized airborne particles. Precisely what fraction of middle sized particle get blocked give you the number of N95 mask. In the case of N95 mask, it blocks around 95% of middle sized particle, and that's why we call it N95.